Hello, families and kids. We're so happy to have you here with us today. We've got a special journey planned, a journey of discovery, learning, and fun. Together, we'll be exploring some fascinating questions, and we promise you're going to love the answers too. First, we'll wander through the silent halls of museums and discover why they are so important. Then, we'll touch upon the varied types of rocks on our planet and the incredible stories they tell us about Earth's history. Next, we'll take a moment to say thank you to our bodies, appreciating all the amazing things they do for us every day. We'll also delve into our emotions, those feelings that make us laugh, cry, and everything in between, and how they contribute to our well-being. And finally, we'll learn about the simple act of covering our mouths when we cough and why it's so crucial for protecting others. Are you ready to start our fun-filled journey of learning? Here we go. First off, do you know why we have museums? Museums are special places that act like giant treasure chests. They hold and protect objects that tell us stories about our past, our culture, and the world around us. These objects could be anything from a dinosaur bone that's millions of years old to a painting made only a few decades ago. Think of museums as a time capsule, preserving the whispers of history and echoing them for us and future generations to hear. They're like a bridge that connects us to the past, allowing us to understand where we came from and how we've evolved over time. Now, there are different types of museums, each with its unique collection. History museums, for instance, house artifacts from different eras, telling us tales of what life was like years ago. Science museums, on the other hand, are filled with exhibits that explain the wonders of the universe and the marvels of technology. Then we have art museums, where we can appreciate the beauty and creativity of artists from different periods and cultures. Children's museums are another type that are super fun. They are designed to be interactive and engaging, and they help kids learn about the world in a playful way. And did you know there are even virtual museums that you can visit from the comfort of your own home? These museums are important because they help us learn. They provide us with knowledge that we can't get from a textbook. They're places where we can see, touch, and sometimes even smell history. They inspire us, make us think, and spark our curiosity. Museums also remind us of the achievements of those who came before us. They showcase human creativity and ingenuity. They help us appreciate the diversity and richness of different cultures. And most importantly, they make us realize that we are part of a long, fascinating story that's still being written. So, museums are like giant treasure chests, helping us remember and learn about the past. Isn't that fascinating? Ever wondered why there are different types of rocks around us? Our world is filled with a fascinating variety of rocks, each with its unique story. But have you ever thought about why we have different types of rocks? Well, it's all due to the magical process of the rock cycle that has been taking place over millions of years. Let's start with igneous rocks. These are born from fiery origins. When volcanoes erupt, they spew out hot molten material called magma. Once this magma cools down and solidifies, it forms igneous rocks. Granite and basalt are common examples of igneous rocks. Next, we have sedimentary rocks. These rocks are a bit like a history book of the Earth. They're formed over time as small pieces of older rocks, shells, pebbles, and other materials accumulate and get compacted together. These layers can tell us about the Earth's past, including the plants, animals, and climate of long ago. Sandstone and limestone are common examples of sedimentary rocks. Lastly, let's talk about metamorphic rocks. These are the transformers of the rock world. When igneous or sedimentary rocks are subjected to intense heat and pressure deep within the earth, they change into something new, a metamorphic rock. Marble and slate are examples of metamorphic rocks. So you see, rocks are not just inanimate objects lying around. They are dynamic and ever-changing, continually being formed, altered, and recycled. They hold clues about the Earth's history, from volcanic eruptions in ancient seas to the movement of continents. Just think about it. The granite countertop in your kitchen was once hot, flowing magma deep within the earth. The limestone buildings in your city were once under a sea teeming with life. The marble statue in the museum was once sediment at the bottom of an ancient sea, transformed by heat and pressure over millions of years. So each rock has its own story to tell about our wonderful Earth. How cool is that? Now let's talk about our bodies. Do you know why we should say thank you to them? Imagine your body as the most loyal friend you've ever had. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning to the time you close them at night, your body is working tirelessly for you. It's like a superhero, doing all sorts of amazing things without you even noticing. For instance, your heart is a dedicated worker, pumping blood around your body every second of the day to keep you alive. Your lungs are like two best friends, constantly taking in fresh air and sending out the stuff you don't need. Your stomach and intestines are hardworking chefs and cleaners, turning the food you eat into energy and then tidying up afterwards. And let's not forget your brain, the mastermind behind it all, coordinating everything and making sure you can think, learn, and remember. With all this hard work going on, doesn't it make sense to say thank you to our bodies? So how can we show gratitude to our bodies? Well, one of the best ways is by treating them well. This means eating a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, drinking plenty of water, moving and stretching regularly, and getting a good night's sleep. And don't forget about laughing and having fun. That's good for your body too. You can also say thank you to your body by listening to it. When you're tired, take a rest. When you're thirsty, have a drink. When you're feeling full, stop eating. Your body is pretty wise and it often tells you what it needs. Saying thank you to our bodies isn't just about being polite. It's about showing respect for this amazing machine that does so much for us. And when we respect our bodies, we're more likely to take good care of them. So, saying thank you to our bodies is a way of showing love and respect for all they do for us. Isn't that a nice thing to do? Have you ever wondered why we feel different emotions? It's a question that's as fascinating as it is complex. Emotions, you see, are our body's special way of responding to different situations. They're like the colors in a painting, giving depth and texture to our experiences, making our lives more vibrant and interesting. Let's think of emotions as signals. Just like a traffic light, they guide us, telling us when to go, when to stop, and when to be cautious. For instance, when we're happy, it's like a green light telling us that everything is going well. We feel light, joyful, and we're likely to spread that joy to others. Then there's sadness, like a red light. It's a signal that something is not quite right. We might feel down, maybe even cry, but that's okay. It's a natural response to loss or disappointment, and it helps us to heal and grow. Anger, on the other hand, is like a flashing yellow light. It warns us that something is bothering us. It might make us feel heated, ready to confront a problem. But remember, it's important to express anger in a healthy way, without hurting ourselves or others. Fear is another yellow light. It's our body's way of telling us that we might be in danger. It can make our hearts beat faster, preparing us to either face the danger or run away from it, a response we often call fight or flight. Then there's surprise, a sudden flash of light that comes when something unexpected happens. It can be a pleasant surprise or a shocking one, but either way, it makes our eyes widen and our hearts beat faster. And finally, we have disgust. It's a reaction to something we find unpleasant, like the taste of a food we don't like. It's a signal that tells us to avoid certain things for our own good. So, our emotions are like signals, telling us how we feel about what's happening around us. They're a very important part of being human. And remember, it's completely normal to experience a range of emotions, and it's okay to talk about them, because when we understand our emotions, we can navigate our lives with more confidence and compassion. Finally, do you know why we need to cover our mouths when we cough? Well, it's all about those sneaky tiny things called germs. Germs are so small that we can't see them with our eyes, but they're everywhere. When we cough, germs that might be lurking in our mouths can fly out into the air at an amazing speed, almost like invisible superheroes. But unlike superheroes, these germs can be villains, causing people who breathe them in to become sick. Now let's imagine you're in a room with your best friend and you suddenly need to cough. Without covering your mouth, those villainous germs can easily leap from you to your friend. Not such a nice gift to give, is it? That's why it's so important to cover our mouths when we cough. We're essentially putting up a shield, blocking those germs and protecting our friends and family from getting sick. So how should we cover our mouths? Well, the old-fashioned way is to use a handkerchief or tissue. You can also cough into the crook of your elbow, which is a neat trick because it keeps your hands clean and germ-free. And if you're wearing a mask, which is a super shield against germs, make sure to still cover your mouth when you cough. This way, we're doing our part to keep those germs from spreading. But what happens if you forget to cover your mouth? Well, it's never too late to learn and practice. Just remember, every time you cover your mouth when you cough, you're not only protecting others, but also showing respect and care for their health. It's a small gesture, but it can make a big difference. So covering our mouths when we cough is a simple way to show care for others. It's a small act with a big impact, don't you think? Wow, we've learned so much today, haven't we? We've discovered why museums are like time capsules, preserving stories and artifacts from different eras. We've understood that rocks are not just stones, but narrators of Earth's fascinating history. We've also learned to appreciate our bodies, to say thank you for all the amazing things they do for us every single day. And remember how we talked about our emotions? They're not just feelings, but signals that tell us about our well-being. And lastly, we learned why covering our mouths when we cough or sneeze is a simple, yet important act of kindness that helps protect others. Isn't it wonderful how every question leads us to new knowledge? So, don't stop asking questions. Keep that spark of curiosity alive. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Good night, families and kids. Stay curious and keep exploring.